Roger, JR, you want to say anything?
Welcome, everyone.
There you go. Let's do it. It's September 22nd. Let's do some announcements real quick. I'm doing online, by the way. John Morton's seminars and workshop are tomorrow, 2 to 4:30. John Morton, you guys online? How many people do I have online? Julie, do you know the info? Do you want to say the info? Hold on. Here's John Morton, ladies and gentlemen. He's going to give you some info. We're talking to people online, so hang on, guys. Come on in.
So, yes,
Julie, how
come on
many
in,
people we got? Huh? We got 20 people online. Go ahead, John.
So tomorrow, there's a doctor in the house, John Morton, Love is in the Air workshop. You're all invited from 2 to 4:30 p.m. It's going to be over at the Columbia Hotel. Great opportunity to see Hyde Park on the way or after. And so, you may be able to catch a plane, train, ship, whatever you got to do. You're invited wherever you are. And then following that, we'll have a short break, and at 5 o'clock, 5 to 7, we're going to do a closed MSI seminar. So it's going to be, what Houdini used to do when they'd chain him and put all kinds of locks, and then we're going to see if we can get our souls free at that event. So if you want to get your soul free, come on by. It's code for if you're on discourses. Do I have it right? So is that the requisite? Because it doesn't say what the requisite here other than closed. But 3 taped seminars. What if they can't get a taped seminar anymore? Then what? Okay. So if you've listened to it on CD, if you're listening now, come on by. Yes, it's about your intention to study and be awake in your soul. And then I think there's something going on Monday. Do you know it's Monday, a special day of some kind.
John Rogers' documentary. We are previewing it. It is not a premiere. We're checking it out. We want feedback from all the negative people in the movement. We want them to tell us what they think. And then, I'm sorry, Monday is JR's birthday. My bad. We're also inviting negative people to come on Monday. We need 9 more negative people. No, I'm kidding. We're going to be at the Dorchester from noon to 4. Is that right? 3, noon to 3. Fantastic hotel, actually. I've not ever seen that hotel until we went over there. Here's what we would like. Who's going to the JR thing? Who has an iPhone? Keep them up. Who has a Droid? Don't want to talk to you people. Just iPhone up, please. iPhone. You can download. Did you guys receive Zoe's email? It's a really cool app where you blow a candle. It's eco-friendly. We don't want global warming by lighting candles. So JR will have live candles. We'll do this whole effect where you can blow on your app and your candle light will go out. It's true. I made it up and Zoe found it on the App Store. I see a lot of friendly faces. Russell Bishop, Heidi Banks came in from New York last night. Who came in last night? Who's been in here? Oh yeah, whoa. Yolanda, you been here since? So if you haven't, who has not signed up for JR's birthday? Scone. If you guys want to sign up, we all go to the Dorchester, and I call it the Doi. Sorry. Because it's owned by Dubaian people, so I call it Doi. You guys know Paul Kay? And you guys know JR. We're going to leave JR alone. He's completely in another realm, saving all your souls. Ned, do you want to put a scarf in case you get cold? So I'd like to just say, so we have Monday. Don't forget John's thing tomorrow. We have the JR's birthday on Monday. And then on the 29th, we have the movie. How many people know about the Prince Charles Theater from 9 to 6? On my iPad, we play nonstop JR seminars and moments of peace if you're into JR stuff. And if you're not, come and learn about JR stuff. And then we show the documentary and London is featured in the documentary as one of the places that things exploded in 1972. Is that right, Paul? Nick Brown? Oh, Nick's at the Chelsea game. He made that more important. I hope Chelsea loses. No, I'm kidding. Don't say that. Arsenal's Gunners up. You know, that's what I text them. So we'll have somebody call on the light. Don't forget to come to the documentary. You guys will love it. If you don't know anything about JR and what he started with the Spirit, with God, come and see. It's 2 hours of unbelievable footage that Now Productions over the years have really held on to. From London, you see, I think Paul Kaye's getting ordained in 72 or 73. And Natalie and Caroline's in the apartment at St. John's Wood. I have to say that correctly. St. John's Wood. St. John's Wood. St. John's Wood. So we have Now Productions. It's Julie Lurie. Julie, you want to raise your hand? She's the online princess. Is Mark Lurie here? The Prez? Oh, nice. Yeah, there's the Prez. Where's Vincent? There we go. We're being represented. There's John Morton. Where's Lee? Oh, Lee is out. Lee's doing her ministry with, can I say? Lee's hanging out with Wayne Dyer. I know, it's cool. And can I just say something? Last night, Wayne Dyer delivered his movie to JR's room. I thought that was very nice. Very nice guy. So how about if Sam Wiggin calls in the light? Oh, I just saw your hand. You want to come over here, Sam, to the...
Okay, so let's just all relax and close your eyes if you want to. Take a breath. Let go. And Father, Mother God, we call ourselves forward into the light just now. Very glad once again to be together in the loving and community and light. And very glad to be with JR now. And so we say thank you for this opportunity once again to receive the blessings. And so it is. And
I wanted to also say that Michael Hayes is here. If you guys need any help, if you've been attacked, call him. But Michael and John did a fantastic job. Paul, everybody at the Bovey Castle. You guys watch any of that? Were you guys online? You guys saw that? But it was fantastic. We were at, if you didn't know, we were in Devon, I guess it's called. It's called Bovey Castle. I call it Bovey, like the Dorchester. And it was fantastic over there. And for sure, Devon Cream wins. Devon Clotted Cream wins. I'm going to now hand over the mic to Mr. K, Dr. Paul K. Let me say one last thing. I will say a few more things, but I'll say one last thing. JR is here mainly because we made a deal not to disturb him today. So me and Nat, we did a good job at getting him over here with Trish. Go ahead, Trish. If you guys ever seen a Scottish wild woman, raise your hand. There it is. Whew, she's tough. She's like Braveheart. In the morning, she wakes up, "You can take my wife, but you can't take away my freedom." You know, so we fight. It's crazy. So please give JR his space. He probably won't be signing your book, and he probably will disappoint you. All of those things are going to happen today, just to get it over with. And then you can move into the loving. Who said that? Nice. Stand up and say it.
I love you, JR.
All right.
We all love you.
All right, cool. Mr. K?
One more thing indeed. Just to get an idea of the room, who's here for the first time? This is a first MSIA event. People are there? Yes, okay. Good. Well, very, very warm welcome to you all. Thank you for coming. I kind of could tell that you were new because what the hell have I walked into? And, of course, that's how we all felt the first time. Keeps us coming back, though. So just relax and enjoy yourselves. We started off with a chant, the Anai Hugh. It's a way of gathering the energy together. We chant the Hugh, which is God's name, and Anai brings forward a quality of empathy. So when we're in a group situation, it helps harmonize the energy and brings us all together here. Another way that I like to do that is just to have people focus on their breathing. So if you kind of get a sense of where the room is right now, if we all just took 10 seconds to focus on the rising and the falling of our breath, let's just do that. No, we're not breathing, we're just watching and observing the breath go up and down. Just 10 seconds or so. Okay, very nice. Thank you for doing that. It's another way of harmonizing the energy. Breath in many languages is synonymous with spirit. So by just focusing on our breath, we bring forward spiritual focus and energy. And for those of you who want to learn how to meditate, you just did. You just meditated. No need for you to have to go anywhere else to learn to meditate. You just did. If you just continue that, if you can do it for a minute, it's great, and a bit longer, you find that it'll have great effect. It's a wonderful way of handling stress as well, just focusing for a few moments on your breath. Jesu was calling forward people out of the audience, very Hollywood way of doing a presentation, but I kind of felt like I wanted to do it myself. I wanted to point out a few people. Of course, we are going to be at the Dorchester, or as Jesus says, calls it the Doychester. I call it the Goychester. And anyway, there are a couple of people I wanted to point out in the audience because I think they're special. Many years ago in 1978, I believe, we held the first Insight training in Santa Monica, and that gave birth to a whole new era in MSIA. Who got involved in MSI through Insight seminars? Raise your hand. See, there's a lot going on. Well, that first seminar was facilitated, I'm talking 78, what is that, 35 years ago, whatever, 36, was facilitated by Russell Bishop, who founded Insight, but Russell was, I guess you could call him a co-founder. I mean, you're certainly the one that brought it forward with JR, and Russell Bishop is with us today. Please stand up, Russell Bishop. Somewhat of an iconic figure. And what I love about these gatherings as well is that JR has the ability to pull people from all over the world. And as someone I hadn't seen in many, many, many years from Germany, Wolfgang Baumeister, please stand up. For those of you who know Wolfie, there he is. We are doing a documentary, as Jesus said, story of JR's life. I was blown away by this movie. If you want to introduce people to JR, this is the movie to bring them to. Really, just if you ever wanted to kind of just give an idea of what John Roger has achieved in his life, what he's done, and how he came to what he was, this movie just blew me away, and I've been around for many, many years. So please try and get the 29th and bring along your friends. And I invited my family even. Of course, they're not going to come, but still, I just felt very comfortable about inviting them. I wanted them to come, actually. I was very, very, very proud of this movie. Jesus done an awesome job. We basically went into the archives for many, many years, and we kind of pulled it together. It did get me thinking about movies, I have to say. Jesus is a movie star, so he's the real thing. I'm not a movie star, although I do make it in this movie, so I guess, in a way, I guess I'm a star of sorts. Certainly a legend in my own mind, and... But it did get me thinking about movies, and I'm not a huge movie fan. I mean, I'm not the kind that goes to movies when they come out. But it did start me thinking, and I thought of this, and I want you to participate in this with me. It got me thinking of, like, what movie... Remember that phone sound? What movie was that phone sound in?
Matrix.
Matrix? No? Yes, there was in that. Which one? Which movie was that phone sound? It went on and on and on. Dial M for Murder? Perhaps. I don't know. It's a good one. Okay. Once Upon a Time in America. Is anybody with me? Once Upon a Time, yes. You know the scene? That tone goes on for about, 5 minutes. It just keeps on going. It's worth Sergio Leone, same person who did spaghetti westerns. So, anyway, I'm not an expert on movies. I'm not even pretending to be. But movies, what is their significance? Well, in the 40 years or so, 45 years that I've watched movies or been a conscious being that could appreciate them, there's certain movies that have affected me in deep ways. And I would say out of those 40 movies and all the movies I've seen, there's been one or two scenes in all the movies I've seen in all the years that I would describe as life-changing. That's overused words these days, right? That was life-changing. You know, it's just like, well, I took a taxi to... across town. That was life-changing. I mean, we just overuse this word. But in this case, when I'm talking about life-changing, I mean something that really changed your perspective in life in such a positive way that you weren't going to go back and look at life differently again. That was going to take you on a trajectory. I want you to think about that scene. I'm going to have you, break up into groups of 4. I love that. That's my latest thing. After years of putting things in twos, dyads, and couples, thanks to Russell Bishop putting everybody in dyads for years, I was so conditioned by him. And then suddenly I broke out this year and I said, quads. Quads. It was almost like it was just, I don't know, heavenly. Quads, 4s. So you're going to talk in 4s. We have plenty of room in the... But I want you to think about a scene in your life, a scene from a movie that you saw, or a couple of them, where it so had an impact on you that it changed your life. Now, of course, Jesus just said a scene from a movie. The phone scene, I remember it. It's visceral. It didn't change my life. I'm talking about something where it brought a more caring. You had a positive. It made you see life in a completely different way that was life-changing for you. So break up into 4s. I'm going to give you about 5 or 10 minutes. This is a chatting format. This is not one at a time. You can all talk at once. But we'll give you 10 minutes or so talking about the scenes from a movie that have made that difference to you. Watch that you don't knock over your coffee cups. I don't remember that. You're giving me goosebumps. Yeah. But then De Niro gets rid of him because he knew it was over. De Niro lives. He didn't get rid of him, it was just like this. It's coming down to the wire. That was great. Well, the movie had such dimension. It should have been an all-time classic.
Give you some retrospect. What was going on in life? John Belushi, and we two people around Robin Williams. They
So, who needs more time? Who needs a little bit more time? Raise your hand. Okay, we're going to give you 2 more minutes. 2 more minutes. Okay, let's have your attention, please. You can turn your chairs to the front again. So I want to hear from you now the movie that changed your life for the positive, that made you a more caring and maybe a more open, more spiritual person. Jesu had something. I remember we were chatting here, so why don't you just go?
You're going to laugh. But I'm in Miami. I'm 16 years old. I find out who my real father is, all along. I go to my mother in L.A. and I go, hey, Ma, what's my birth certificate? I mean, I need a birth certificate so I can work. Apparently, I need a birth certificate. So she says, okay, your name isn't Fonseca. Your name is Garcia. Your father left you when you were born. And I'm going to cry. No, I don't really care. But at 16, I'm like, what? How come you lied to me? That whole drama stuff. So she goes, go see him now. This is his number. So I go to Miami. I'm completely miserable. I definitely, he's my dad. We look alike. And then he invites me into his restaurant, and he goes, this is going to be yours one day. By the way, he did not have an Antonio Banderas accent. But let's just say he does. He's a very handsome man. And he says, this restaurant will be yours one day. I immediately turned to cocaine and Quaaludes because I did not want to do that. And I'm so glad he left my mother, and I'm miserable. I want to go back to LA and become a movie star. So I get on the bus, and I go to Dade County. Who's familiar with Miami? Dade County. Because Empire Strikes Back is playing there. And I fall in love with Yoda. And if you follow George Lucas, all Yoda is talking is Joseph Campbell's writings, if you know Joseph Campbell. So I'm completely like, that's the guy I need to go study with. But Yoda is not real. So I think Yoda is real. I must go back to California. Somehow, I'm in love. I go see Empire Strikes Back. That scene when he says, Yoda says, do or do not. Do not try, man. When I went like, it's mine, when he's fighting over the Snicker bar, and he's lifting shit, and I was like, this is my guy. And then, long story short, I meet Jared, and I'm like, I swear to God, I'm not kidding you. I said, that's Yoda. That's the guy I got to go be with. And till this day, I swear to God, he's Yoda. This is Yoda. So that's the scene that changed my life today. I'm still wanting to be a Jedi.
So you got to meet Yoda, get to meet Yoda here today. Actually, if you compare, I did a comedy skit on this once, but if you compare pictures of JR and Yoda, they actually do look extremely similar. So we often thought, wait a minute, they took JR's picture and put Yoda on it. So I want to hear from you, but before I do that, just hanging out with Jesu, he's able to spot celebrities. Los Angeles, where I live, is a celebrity city. I never see any celebrities anywhere. traveled a lot to New York, don't see anybody pretty much. But when you're with Jesus, he just knows everybody. So I've met Pete Sampras, the tennis player. I walked into a restaurant that and Jesus going, "Hey, Pete!" You know, like he knows him for life. And I go, "God, I didn't know you knew Pete Sampras." He goes, "No, I don't know some Pete Sampras." And then we were in New York about a month ago. Who was in the place that we happened to be in? This was just a cafe. Was Antonio Banderas? It was Antonio Banderas with his daughter. Of course, Jesus is talking to Antonio Banderas like he's known him his whole life. So if you want to see celebrities, make sure you hang out with Jesus because he can spot them. I can't tell them for the life of me. Of course, nowadays, I can't even make out half of the people in the audience here, so I don't really with the eyes. So who had a very meaningful movie experience? You heard from Jesus. Anybody would like to share? Yes, Val. Over here, there's a red mic.
I was interested in what women changed. Like, did they see Easter Parade and go, "Oh my God, Judy Garland"?
Hi, I'm Val. No, not Easter Parade, but I do like Judy Garland. The one that came to me was The Truman Show, actually. It's right near the end when... so Jim Carrey's been living in this world that seems to be real, and then he discovers gradually that it's all like on a movie set. And what appears to be the sky and the sun is just like this massive ceiling and bright spotlights, and... He wants out, and so towards the end he just sets sail on a boat and he's traveling across this sea, and none of us really know what's going to happen to him. And there's a guy who's sort of like the God figure, is a director of the movie and is doesn't want him to escape the world, so he's sending storms and lightning and he's trying to kill the guy, basically. So finally Jim Carrey almost gets washed overboard and all the rest of it, and he looks like he's sailing away into Never Never Land, and finally, suddenly, the boat hits up against something, and he realizes that he's at the edge of this world, and there's a set of steps and a door, and he can actually walk up the steps and open the door. And it still really moves me. It's something about, I suppose for me, just in this life, having taken that decision to move outside of the world that I knew and go to a completely different one, but then it also feels like kind of a metaphor for being on this planet as well, that it feels like this is all there is, and then you do have this opportunity to open a door to a whole other level. So, thanks.
I got to see the movie.
Thanks for that, Val. You've seen the movie The Truman Show, right? You haven't seen that movie? Oh, you should really see that movie. It is actually an extremely good metaphor. Who else would like to share with us something that they learned, some meaningful movie that they saw? Oh, Ruth?
Hi, I'm Ruth. I was thinking about movies, and I love movies. I'm a real movie goer. But the thing that really changed my life, and I had to drive a long way to get to seminars and watch those movies every week. And I'd say seminars changed my life. They enable me to put things in the light and let go of, and find camaraderie with people that let me just release things in my life. So I really wanted to thank JR and Now Productions for those amazing seminars that truly were so good to me. Thank you.
Thank you, Ruth. So, those of you who are near for the first time, she's talking about John Rogers' DVDs and home seminars that we produce, talks that JR gave for years and years. We have about 6,000 talks that we attempt to preserve, which we're doing actually as we go along. What about anything from our new people here? Yes, please, come on up. Just tell us your name and tell us your movie.
Yes, my name is Viviana, and one movie that was really meaningful to me was Life is Beautiful. And I guess the scene that really did it for me was when the father is pretending to be playing when his kid is looking. I don't remember where the boy was, but he's kind of looking out this little hole, and the father is just pretending it's all a big game. That really did it for me, and I guess it's because you know, you can get something positive from anything, any negative experience.
Where are you from, Vivian?
I'm from Colombia.
From Colombia, okay, excellent. Good. Well, lovely to see you. We have quite a big MSI group in Colombia.
Yeah, my sister actually is Tatiana.
Tatiana,
Yes.
oh, Tatiana Jimenez. Oh, yes, okay,
We heard
fantastic.
about you.
Yes. She told me.
Tatiana told me on Facebook.
Well, welcome. Thank you. Lovely
Thank
to
you.
meet you. Yes, Ginny, let's have you up here.
Hi, my name's Ginny. I just remembered it. I didn't share it in our group, but in Insight, I don't know if people remember, there's a place in the Insight seminar where the facilitator talks about Mother Teresa and a film of Mother Teresa's work. And it's a really scuzzy little film, and some social science students did an experiment with it where they measured people's endorphins after they'd seen this really scuzzy film of Mother Teresa, and everybody's endorphins rose. And the teaching, I think, was that there's something about some people that vibrate like a tuning fork at a higher level. And I hadn't actually seen the film, but I was so inspired by the idea that I went to Calcutta and I met her and got blessed by her and worked in her orphanage, and that was extremely life-changing. And I did actually find the film, and when we were working for Insight, we'd had a movie night, and we screened that film, and it's kind of short and really scuzzy, but totally inspiring. So, yeah.
What does scuzzy mean? You know,
What? Yeah, what's scuzzy? Sounds like a Scud missile.
yeah.
English people will know what scuzzy means, right? Right? It means like a movie that Jesus would make would certainly not be scuzzy. It means badly made, kind of flickery, like shot with a little
Poor quality.
poor quality. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Thank you.
yeah.
Okay, good.
Thank you.
Phil Danza. We'll have a man. Let's hear Phil Danza. Phil Danza, the head of Now Productions.
Hi, I just wanted to share, not to like typecast myself, but when I was a kid, the movie that really affected me was The Godfather. And it wasn't like the mafia life. What it was is I was already sort of fringing that life anyway, and seeing that movie and seeing, I heard what it was, I walked out and I went, you know what? I just don't want it that bad. And it really helped turn me towards the light.
You're still the mafia in Now Productions. I don't care.
Right. So Zeus
We
and I
gotta go
do movies,
through-
you know,
yeah, we gotta go, hey.
Hey, how's Paulie?
Hey, you won't see Paulie no more.
Exactly. Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed, Phil. Thank you. So let's hear from Rick Green. Again, a Los Angelino here.
Hi, Joan of Arc, and I think it was called The Courtesan, I'm not sure. But in both cases, it had to do with the Inquisition, and both people were just standing up and being true to who they were, you know, as a reality, true to the soul, you know, at the price of death or, you know, who knows what. But it was very moving for me, both of them. So.
Thank you very much indeed, Rick. Welcome to London, my hometown. I was born here, actually, and it doesn't feel like my hometown anymore, actually, but it is good to be always here. So there was a reason that we kind of looked at all of these things. We're talking about the Way Out book today, this book by John Roger. It's been out for many years. It's considered within the MSI community to be a classic. It's absolutely packed with information and tools, and you can pick it up at any point, really, and read a paragraph. It's pretty dense. The reason it was pretty dense was that it was actually a compilation of articles that appeared in a MSI newspaper, I think called the Movement newspaper at the time. And we kind of picked the best of the best. This was back in the 80s. and we compiled them, or Paulie Sanderson, Paulie McGarry compiled them into a book. And so each chapter is pretty dense in itself, and then together it makes for a pretty dense book. So that's the book that we're featuring here today. And last year I recorded it on audio, just read straight from the book. And so we'd like you to pick up a copy or an audio version today. And never again will you need to complain about being stuck in traffic, because you've got a book to listen to and lots of keys to apply. One of the themes that goes through JR's work is a simple statement that is so simple, and he said it so often that I completely missed it, which was, hold pictures in your mind you want more of, not less of. Hold pictures in your mind you want more of. And this is such an important teaching that JR mentions it pretty much in every seminar. That's probably an exaggeration, but not too much of an exaggeration. When I was putting together the book, Living the Spiritual Principles of Health and Well-Being, I have it there as the second principles. There's 8 principles, and the second principle is hold pictures in your mind you want more of. And I have access to the John Roger database where we've recorded all his material. So I went searching for hold pictures in your mind you want more of, and there was just thousands of references to it. So why had I ignored this all of these years? Why had I just refused to hold pictures in my mind I want more of? And I think the reason was it's so freaking difficult. It really is hard to hold pictures in your mind you want more of. What pictures are you going to hold in your mind? And what is it that you want more of? And if you want more of something, what does it look like that you can hold a picture in your mind that you want more of? Hence the value of movies, because they give us pictures that we see. We go to movies to see things on a screen. And I think Ginny gave us a good representation of that. For her, it was Mother Teresa, that image of caring, or whatever it was that inspired her to move halfway across the world in uncomfortable conditions. There was a picture there that she can always hold of someone who cared. So let's say she wants to have more caring in her life. Just thinks of Mother Teresa, holds that picture, and caring comes present. It is really quite a magical process when you come down to it, but it does take a little bit of focus. I often find that in order to get through life many times and to get past our habitual responses to it, that we need a little tricks, some little cues. Our habits are pretty much brought about by triggers and cues. You smell a food, suddenly you're hungry, you want a particular food. We know that we're addicted, we're habituated to sugar in this culture and just about every other Western culture. Certain things trigger that need being in quotes or inverted commas, whatever you'd like to say. So it's these things that trigger us. So we often need things to trigger us the other way. That's the beauty of habits, that a lot of us have negative habits. The beauty of it is the way to have a good habit is just to do exactly the same thing you did to have a bad habit, which oftentimes is repetition. But it's also an opportunity to cue yourself. And how can you do that? Well, have a picture in your mind that you want more of and hold it there. And allow yourself to enter into that world that picture gives you, that vibration that Ginny so articulately told us, that vibration. People just looking at a movie, even one of poor quality, still were able to raise their positive hormones, or the positive vibrations, I guess we could say in another way. So there you have it. Pictures in your mind you want more of. We'll come back to that because I want you to hold that thought, because I'm going to want you to be talking about that. But I did want you to also understand another quote in this book. And it was one that I saw. It was one line in this book, The Way Out book. And, of course, the Way Out book is kind of interesting. We don't usually say things are way out or far out these days. Back in the 80s, way out meant way out. And, of course, it was a funny double entendre, The Way Out book. Now, unfortunately, it's a little bit one-dimensional. Doesn't quite have all of those nuances of meaning. But there was one sentence that I took out of this book, and I've been working with it ever since. It's just a few words. J.R. says, anticipate joy in every moment. Anticipate joy in every moment. Now, if you would have said, be joyful in every moment, I probably would have ignored it because I don't know if I can be joyful in every moment. But for some reason, I can anticipate joy in every moment. And it's helped me enormously whenever I find myself stuck or a bit miserable or depressed or down or whatever. It's just like I just tell myself, anticipate joy in every moment. Somehow, it's just like life suddenly becomes exciting, full of wonder, and doors open, spaces open. I liked Val's analogy of just opening a door and moving into another world. And rightly so, she took it as a metaphor for life. And in a similar way, when we're stuck, well, open a door to another world. We have choices of them, infinite choices of any world we want to enter. Today you came through those doors and entered into this world, John Rogers' world. And in John Rogers' world, the keynote is loving. Keynote is loving. That's really, to me, a lot of what John Rogers' work is about. We talk about MSI's business, which MSIA, as the movement of spiritual inner awareness, which John Rogers founded, the business being soul transcendence. And if you want to look more deeply into that, there's certainly plenty of material you can do that. But the keynote of it, to me, in terms of as we gather together, is this loving consciousness. And even more than just being loving, it's being unconditionally loving. And I often think that just life's lesson, what life is all about, is to teach us to be unconditionally loving. Because at some point, we do come to that. And even with ourselves, with other people, that moment where we do have to give and love and share without expecting anything in return and not wanting anything in return, but just the fact of doing it is its own expansion and in a way back to being its own world. We always have that. So anticipate joy in every moment, to me, opens up that other world that I can live in and live in a positive and uplifting way, no matter what is going on around me. If I find myself, as I said, stuck in a room, nothing to do, not that that happens, but just you get the idea, anticipate joy in every moment. That's one sentence. There's another sentence here in the book that to me has profound implications, and that is that the only thing that you are in control of is your inner environment. The only thing that you're in control of is your inner environment. This is another simple sentence. Another simple sentence, but one that has so many implications throughout the thousands of years of philosophy on the planet. If we go back to Shakespeare, and Shakespeare saying, or not Shakespeare, but one of the characters saying in Shakespeare play, there is no good or bad, but thinking makes it so. That's right. Who said that, Sheila? You don't know, but you know the saying, right? It's from Shakespeare. Who said it? Anybody? Cassius? Is Cassius? No. Sorry. No. Yes, it was Hamlet. Thank you. Okay. God, this is England, for God's sakes. It's okay, but it's a good guess. I mean, Jesu is the expert on Cassius. It's okay, Martin. Don't feel ashamed. It could have been Cassius. It's okay. Don't judge yourself. Unconditional loving, remember. What did Cassius say?
Cassius was more negative because he and Brutus helped kill Caesar, so I don't think he would say that.
Yeah, Jesu is my Cassius expert. Cassius and Brutus, if you want to know what they say, this is Jesu.
I have it all on my iPad.
Exactly, he has it all on his iPad. No, he studied Rome and all of the kind of machinations. But let's go back to Rome, really, or let's go back to those times, because really Shakespeare, all he was doing was saying something that was known in ancient literature and had been said by the ancient philosophers of the time. And let's go back to perhaps the beginning of time in terms of 0 BC or whatever you want to call it, around that 100 BC, when we had philosophers like Epictetus, or as I prefer to call him, Epictetus, because it sounds more manly. Epictetus was saying the similar thought that it's not events that really are the problem in our lives. It's really what we make of them, what we think about them, how we do it. And the whole philosophy that came and arose through such people as Epictetus, as Seneca, as Marcus Aurelius, who was emperor of Rome, and very much on our same page as the people in this room in terms of philosophical. The idea that what we think about things is really what makes or breaks us, and that is in our control. In fact, Epictetus was very, very clear about it. He said there's two things in life. There's what we can control and what we can't control. And actually, peace and tranquility, which is one of the things that the Stoic philosophers were very clear about. They were very much into living a tranquil life. Was the key to that tranquility was knowing the difference. And think about it for a moment. If you're concerned about something you can't control of, are you, look, oh, what a waste of energy that is. You can't control it, there's nothing you can do about it, yet you're spending your energy on it and not giving attention to what you can control, which is your own inner environment, that own inner world that you can do something about. And there, you can think whatever you want, you can feel whatever you want, you can be whatever you want. That is all yours, and nobody can do anything about it. Now, the things we can't control, actually we can just divide those up to the things we absolutely can't control, the movement of the planets, the weather pretty much, and the things that we can influence. For example, I can influence this room. I have great influence in this room. I have the microphone. I could scream into the microphone, and all of you would put your hands. Right, exactly. So in a sense, you could say that I was controlling you, but I was more influencing you because I can't control what you're thinking or what you're feeling about it. And this particular key has been very instrumental in people surviving things like the Holocaust, and definitely, periods like that. The Holocaust, to me, is one of the more interesting phases of human life because we have so much written about it. We had a group of very intelligent people that were imprisoned and were able to articulate very clearly what it took to survive under those conditions. One of the most famous was Viktor Frankl, who wrote a book called Man's Search for Meaning. That was an extraordinary book. But one of his classic phrases was, everything can be taken from a man, or a woman for that matter. Everything can be taken from a person except the freedom to choose their attitude. The freedom to choose their attitude. Now, everything that I'm saying is always constantly being updated. So these Roman and Greek philosophers gave us this approach to life, and we keep updating it through time. And then I'm in a seminar in 1978, and Russell Bishop is facilitating, and he's basically saying the same thing. And at the time, it was absolutely revolutionary. But it really wasn't revolutionary. It was just a way of updating what was basically an old teaching. And from John Rogers' point of view, what he was doing was that we were not New Age. We were just a new look at old ideas, old philosophies, things that go through life and hold the test of time. And when you read the Way Out book, and hopefully you will, or you'll pick it up again, or you'll buy one and give it to a friend, or you'll listen to the audio, you'll hear these old ideas being expressed, but are equally as valid today as they were 2,000 years ago. When you pick up the thoughts of Marcus Aurelius, again, who was Emperor of Rome, and this was a huge, huge task, of course, and spent a lot of time fighting battles and wars and all of that, and had this amazing spiritual philosophy to boot. When you read his thoughts, you think they would be written by a modern politician. They're so contemporary and relevant to us today. And it does seem that we do live in a world where we do need a philosophy to get through it. We do need a spiritual approach. And I think that's why John Rogers' teachings, that I'm very fond of, are more relevant now than they have ever been. We're at a time in our life, I think in a time of society, where the rubber is really meeting the road. And we then turn to things like anticipate joy in every moment. Not anticipate disaster in every moment, not anticipate problems in every moment, but anticipate joy in every moment. And when we go to that point where we get upset, it's like, wait a minute, I can't control this, but I can control what's going on inside of me, how I'm feeling, what I'm thinking about these things. So those are some things to think about. I'd like you to talk in your quads about 3 things. I want you to...
Can I
yes,
add?
please.
So I found the Brutus Cassius line from Julius Caesar. I love Shakespeare. My acting teacher once said that Shakespeare is the mind of God. And J.R. somewhat confirms it. We used to read Shakespeare to each other when I first moved in with him. So he says this in a seminar in 72, 73. J.R. does. He quotes Brutus in this. He says, "There is a tide in the affairs of men, which taken at the flood leads on to fortune. Omitted, all the voyage of their life is bound in shallows and in miseries. On such a full sea are we now afloat, and we must take the current when it serves, or lose our ventures." I love it. Jared was quoting something a long time ago about how he was flowing to make the movement happen. And from Miami to London, you'll see it in the documentary. So you said something about Cassius, that was Brutus. There you go.
Thank you very much for this. And and I just love the idea that Shakespeare being the mind of God. I mean, when you do read Shakespeare, it just pretty much covers all of human nature as much as anything can possibly do. And in many ways, it's all right there as well. So again, all of these ideas, there's nothing new under the sun except as they are in this moment. It's new for us. So those movies that I bring to mind to change my attitude and to change the way I do things, and I may have seen them 20 years ago, but they're present for me right now, and they're alive because I'm utilizing them, and I'm utilizing them in a right now context. So anticipate joy in every moment is this next moment, and this next moment, and this next moment. So so just keep in mind what we talked about here, holding pictures in your mind you want more of. John Rogers' approach, which to me was endearing, was that we do practical spirituality. So we don't want you to go out here with a whole bunch of theories in your mind. Practical spirituality, what can you utilize? What can you apply to your life? What can you begin to live in a new way that's going to bring you more upliftment, more joy, something that you can share with others, that you can be healthier, happier, all of those things, wealthier perhaps. So, hold pictures in your mind you want more of. What is that for you? What is the image that you can hold in your mind that you want more of? And what does that look like? And what does it feel like when you hold it there? Anticipate joy in every moment. Does that fit for you or not? And this idea of controlling your inner environment. What are you in control of? What are you not in control of? And what can you let go of if you're not in control of it? Perhaps you're holding on to something. You come in here, you're upset. There's something you're holding on to that you can absolutely have no control of. How do you let it go and move into what you can control, that inner environment that you are with 24 hours a day? So whatever has been brought up in this little chat here, just give you a few moments to chat amongst yourself in your quads. Off you go.
Remember quads. Paul K's moving up in the world. We're doing quads.
Who needs a little bit more time? Just raise your hand if you need more time. Okay, thank you. 2 more minutes. 2 more minutes. Okay, so you can face the front again.
I want to say one thing. Can I say one thing, Paul?
Yes, of course.
I don't want to interrupt you.
Not at all.
I wanted to say, if you guys, once again, give JR his time. If you want to bombard, kind of like the twin of John Roger, his brother's here. Delisle, could you stand up? Delisle? Can you stand up, Delisle? You want to stand? So, he definitely is an interesting version of JR. Go ahead, have him sign the book, and ask him all sorts of questions. And there's Elda. Elda, can you stand up? This is JR's sister-in-law, Elda's wife.
She knows more about me and JR than we know about ourselves.
Did you guys hear that? So Elda, like the woman, knows more than the man about both JR and himself. So if you do want to get details on dates and things and birthdays, check with Elda. Sorry about that, Mr. K. Back to you.
Not at all. That's always good to take a commercial break. That's a thought, actually. Elda, why don't you take the mic and just tell us something about any of this? Come on, please. The world wants to hear your voice. Well, about something about JR.
Talk about the first time you met JR without Delisle. He wasn't there. Go ahead. Remember?
Tell us some story about. Yeah, you're on now.
Well, actually, I did know JR before I knew Delisle, but I always I always knew if there was a group of girls around that JR was right in the middle. Yeah. Well, I don't know. He's just such a great guy, and I do love him. He's closer to me than my own brothers, and always has been since we were first, well, even before Delisle and I were married. Roger was a good part of our life. And maybe this is one little experience. When I had my baby at that time, husbands weren't allowed in, no one was allowed in, and there was 2 hours a day that husbands could come in. No one else, your parents, your kids, nobody else could come in. And so there I was, and here come J.R. marching in. And I said, "How'd you get in?" He said, "I just told him I was the father." So, but we've had a good relationship. I love him a lot. And I love all of you people. It is, what, dear? Oh, thank you. You are a great part of our lives, and we just look so forward to all these meetings and to see each of you every year. I see people today that I thought, oh, maybe they won't be here. But anyway, I don't know what else you'd like to hear.
You were magnificent. Thank you so much. So my cousin Ian actually had something on attitudes. You want to just come up and just say your little piece to the microphone here? Some of you know Ian. My first cousin here.
I think he's an Arsenal fan.
Manchester United, actually. That's another story. It's just one quick little phrase, and that is attitudes, as Paul mentioned earlier. I find that attitudes are contagious. What you need to do is to ask yourself whether yours is worth catching. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ian. Let's bring the whole family in. Some of you keep asking how my mum is doing. My mum, a big part of this community, of course, for many years, and she's in a nursing home now. She can no longer has the use of her legs, so she's in Boreham Wood Nursing Home, but is doing as well as can be expected. And that's going to be where she's going to be for the rest of her life, and we don't know how long that's going to be as well. But all things considered, she's doing very, very well. So thank you for asking, and much light to Pearl K. Pearl K, light to Pearl K. So there's, what's that gentleman there in the white T-shirt? Yes, you. Raise your hand. Yes, that's you. Yeah, yes. Come and share something with us. Oh, what, you have nothing to share? You got a lot to share. Is it going to be interesting? Something from the experience of this workshop do you have to share? Okay, come on up. I don't know who you are, but it's nice to see a handsome man. All the women will appreciate it. Yeah. Give everybody a thrill.
I'll sort you out with that money later, all right?
So. Just say your name and just whatever you've learned from today.
I'm Simon.
Just you got to hold the mic to your thing so that the whole world can hear you. No, just stick it on there you go. Stick it on your chin. That's what I do, and then just rest it there, and then everybody can hear you. There you go.
Is this my Hollywood moment?
It's your Hollywood moment. Yes.
Do I get a fee?
Well, no, you don't get a fee.
I'm going home then. Well, my name's Simon, and I've been studying consciousness really for about 10 years, and it's a pleasure to be here. And essentially, I'm coming from the platform of love, and I'd love you to enjoy this afternoon as well. There you go. Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed, Simon. Much appreciated. Anybody learned anything this afternoon where they would just say, oh, that was a bit of an insight. That's something I can use in my life. That's something I can let go of. Anybody have anything that they could just share with the group? AJ, yes, please come on up. AJ, one of the pillars of the community here.
Here. I'm Andrew John. Most people call me AJ for some reason. I noticed the Anticipate Joy in Every Moment happens to start with AJ, and I thought, how convenient.
That's perfect.
I like the phrase, but actually, two things in my life have been more readily available to allow me or encourage me to anticipate joy in every moment. One of them is the Monty Python little song of "Always look on the bright side of life." Do-do, 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 do-do. And I just find it's, although it may be silly, it is just very uplifting, and I think it's great. And the other thing is I've got a couple of dogs and a cat and so on. But I don't know if you own dogs, but I'm particularly blessed that all the dogs I seem to have owned in my life have two things that they exhibit all the time. One is enthusiasm. Whether you put something in front of them to eat, they will eat it. Whenever you've last fed them, they will eat it, without any fail. And the other one is they always want to go for a walk. You open the door and they think, good, it's walkies time. And they go running out the door and think, where are we off to now? Where are we off to now? And they run around, they bounce around. They're just so enthusiastic. And even if they're old and can't really run quite so quickly, they still look enthusiastic. And I think it's just so great. They just seem to be here to encourage enthusiasm. So if you haven't got a pet in your life, then, use a person as a pet. Doesn't matter.
Thank you very much, AJ. So now we know how you regard Eleni, your wife. It's just AJ's pet, we shall call you now. So very nice. Hopefully you exhibit the same enthusiasm as his dogs, right? Every moment. Anyway, AJ actually. This is not in the movie context, but he told me a story. He was driving me somewhere, and he told me a story that was extraordinarily meaningful for me. So with him being here now, I will share with you the story he shared with me, and then you can see if you get something out of this story, which has really helped me spiritually, I'm talking about here. So AJ has 3 dogs, and he was taking them for a walk. He's a country gentleman, AJ, with a big estate, so he's the real thing with his +4s or whatever he had, +6s, going for a walk with his 3 dogs along his estate. One of them was a Cocker Spaniel, one of them was a Labrador, and one of them was a Bloodhound? A Golden Retriever. And there was a bird, or grouse perhaps, that had flown by. And all of these dogs are hunting dogs. And each of them had a different way of sensing this bird. The Labrador is the one that uses its sight. So basically, it just sees and fixates and just holds, and that's what it's going after. So it uses sight. And the reason it uses this sight is apparently they were water dogs. Again, this is all from AJ. And they used to swim a lot, so they really had to use, that's all they had, their head above water, so they had to use the sight. So they were seeing that. The Cocker Spaniel, in searching out this dog, is close to the ground, right? Close to the ground. So what it does is it just sniffs. And it sniffs and it sniffs. And it doesn't care if, where Martin is at the back of the room, if that's where the grouse or the pigeon or whatever the thing is, it's not going, there's Martin, I'm going to go for it, because it doesn't care. It's using its smell on the ground. And so it's just like going over here. And just boom, 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 boom. Eventually, if it's lucky, it'll hit Martin over there. That was his second thing. The third one was the Golden Retriever. And the Golden Retriever, it doesn't go on the ground. It smells the air. So it was sensing the grouse and or the bird by just smelling or sniffing the air above it. And that way it was sensing, and that told it where it was. 3 hunting dogs, 3 methods. Am I okay? Really meant a lot to me because I always heard JR say, seeing is above all. Seeing is above all. So to me, JR was the Golden Labrador. Yeah. Just from there it is, and you go direct to it. But maybe you're a Cocker Spaniel, maybe I'm the Cocker Spaniel, or maybe we're the Golden Retrievers, we're sniffing the air. Many ways of sensing the Spirit, many ways of finding it, feeling it, sensing it. And it always meant a lot to me because there's just not one way to do this. There's many ways. And all 3 dogs were successful. We know they're successful. Why? Because they survived. Genetically, they were able to adapt. In other words, their methods worked. They survived. But there was definitely 3 ways of doing it, and probably more if we had more dogs. But those were the 3 days on that one walk that Andrew John took. So I always appreciate him for sharing that story with me. So let's see if we can just go inside and sense the Spirit or the love that Sam talked about. What is it that we need to do to get to that loving place? Is it like anticipating joy in every moment? Is it holding pictures in our mind that we want more of? Is it looking? Is it smelling? Is it sensing? So let's just go back to our breath again. And again, just come into this oneness of spirit just by following the rising and the falling of our breath. We'll do that for a few seconds. And now just let's take that breath and breathe in and out through our hearts, through our heart center. There's a group called HeartMath, and they've had fantastic results in terms of health and well-being and living a stress-free life by thinking of something that you're grateful for, and then just taking that thought, that feeling, and just breathing in and out through your heart. Simple as that. So think of something that you're grateful for in your life, and just put it there in your heart and continue to breathe in and out through your heart. Keeping that heart focus, we're going to chant the Hu, H-U. We started out with the Yanai-Hu, but now we're just going to take Hu, that ancient name for God, and out loud we're going to chant it 5 times together just by saying Hu. And I'll just start us off in a moment. And just do that in your heart. And if you want to focus on your heart a little more, sometimes it can be good just to put our hands over our heart, just to get a kind of visceral or a physical cue. You don't have to do it. I find it pretty useful in terms of, that's where my heart is. That's where I want my energy to go at this time. I'm going to breathe in and out through that heart, and I'm going to hew through that heart. So we'll do it 5 times, and then we'll just have a period of silence where we can just see if there's anything within us. So we'll take in a breath. And now just be in silence and breathe in and out through your heart. If you find that your center shifts to the center of your head, that's fine. Just follow the spirit. There's many ways of sensing it. Now just put the word or the feeling love in the center of your heart. And as you breathe in and out love, let that go all through your body. And then beyond. Just overflow into the room. Let your loving overflow into the room. And you can let this loving overflow to a loved one, someone who perhaps isn't with us now. Let that love go to them. Or you can just let that love overflow to John Roger, who's with us here. Unconditional love. There's nothing we want to do other than just allow our love to go. Okay, and when you're ready, you can just gently open your eyes and bring yourself back present into the room. So it certainly feels nice and peaceful, which could mean that we've entered into a high spiritual place or we just fell asleep, or maybe both. Anyway, don't know if you want to just keep going or just how do you see the afternoon
Let's do,
going?
Paul's going to sign books. Let's talk about some things. This is the audio version of it. I listened to the entire thing while I was driving and my eyes closed. It was very nice. Some of the books didn't arrive. It got lost in the same warehouse that Raiders of the Lost Ark, where the Covenant is. It's somewhere in that warehouse. But however, we have the file. We can email you the file. I think we have the information there. £5 to email you, £8 that we can give you a thumb drive. We definitely would love for you to get the CDs, and then Paul will sign it. Before we close out, we'll have John Morton do a blessing, because Lee Taylor's back. Young, Lee Taylor, young, is back. LTY. LTY, say it quietly.
Dear Lord, we welcome your presence into our midst yet again, that we're opening ourselves even more now to allow the blessings that come through the Christ and the Holy Spirit. And in this attunement, we expand our awareness so we're more conscious of being the light and radiating with all things, so that we have more awareness that we're one with God and all the creation. And we find that joy more and more, so we can let go of the anticipation.
Can you speak up, please?
Okay, I can speak up. Thank you. Can you listen up? That's also part of it. So that it's not so much the words, it's the energy that we're in. And often I find when I'm doing the blessing, I'm much more focused on the energy. So it's already happening again. So we listen into the silence. We listen past the words, past our understanding, and we give up what we're seeking so that we can find what's always been with us as an eternal good nature, a peace amongst all of us, a peace with all the creation, and that we can open that up so that as we go from here, we have greater intention and willingness to walk in this peace, to celebrate our life and those who are with us. And in that way, those who are with us, even still, though we may not see them, that we do remember whoever has blessed our life, and that we can include anyone we might think did not bless our life, that we bring them into our midst, into our circle, that all are welcome, and that consciousness of God that is all powerful transforms every one of us into his friends.
If you guys want the book signed, Paul will sign it. If not, we'll say goodbye. Those of you online will stay on. I'll be doing more Shakespeare, and we'll be doing more I remember that Monty Python one. Hello, my parrot's dead. No, it's not. Good God, it's dead. So if you guys want to, Zoe, where do they stand if they want to get...
And also you can hang out. Is there more
You can
coffee
hang
outside?
out. There's food out there, tea.
This is just a love fest. It's time to be with each other, just share, and hopefully there's something you've gotten from our time together here that you can take with you. So thank you for coming. And remember John Morton's event tomorrow. You've got the flyers here. John Morton's event tomorrow at Lancaster Gate, an afternoon. God bless. Thank you.
Know that I am always here, and I love you. Listen to me now. Yes, I love
Anyway, the people out in the internet land, I think there's 20 plus of you guys. We wanted to say thank you. Just tune in. There'll be more Shakespeare later. We're going to be signing books. JR is meditating. We're here. Is there anything you want to say, JR?
There is one here.
You want to say anything? No. But I'll just say thank you guys for tuning in. I know it's 8 in the morning over there. Julie, it's 8 in the morning? 8 in the morning on a Saturday, September 22nd. We're here at Couch Fire Chat. We learned a couple words today. The Scuzzy. What's it called? Scuzzy film? Scuzzy. So you could say like my clothes look scuzzy. Poorly done. So thank you very much for tuning in. Keep it up.
Yes, I love you. And all I want to tell you is I love you. And I'm here with you. And no joy seems far away. Close your eyes and listen to me now. Listen to my love for you.
Oh yes, but you're doing concentrating on the DSSS too, or don't on the document. I'm doing services as well. Oh, I see. Is that Meredith? Yeah. That's Rosemary, your wife. Lovely advice you have here. Well, so did you. So I'm going to try my relay. She asked somebody the other day, said she get business. I'm right. This morning, yeah, I was saying it.
I see you standing by my side, and then I know that the warmth I feel in your embrace, I see in your face is love. As I listen to that melody that I hear within the silence of the night, and you speak to me of endless love that goes on and on as we move into the night. Far from what's wrong or right, all of us are one in God's what is past is here. music of that ancient song. It plays in my heart, in my soul. Singing softly that melody, that I love you and that I know you love me, and the loving
Joyce's place. And then we'll do it in 5 before we
Phil.
Oh. Well, we'll just let you know, we've got about
Hey, can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me, Phil? Yeah. Hey, can you guys wave online if you can hear me? Remember, it'd be really nice if you email Julie Lurie. Julie, do you have your headphones? Put your headphones on. Oh, you are? So what we're doing is Phil Danza, Julie Lurie, we want to shout out. Now Productions Online. What we're doing is we'd like feedback. So if you can email Julie Lurie now, Julie Lurie, email Julie Lurie. Let us know how you're liking. We're not like a big production like the Oscars where we're going to be entertaining you. We just merely let you peek in to these events. And we're working, it's not like a radio station. We're not going to be looping stuff for you. You guys have to, over there on the other side of the ocean, internet world, you figure out what to do. We'll try to help you out what's going on in the room, give you some time off, go do some SCs. We'll be having more of these things. I think we got John and John tomorrow, both events. So tune in. I don't know. I'll give you British times, but I don't know. I don't know what time in LA, but I know it's 8 a.m. Is it 2 o'clock here now? 3, 4? What time is it now? It's 4:20 in LA. I mean in London. And I know when we say, and it's 8 a.m., and that was 2 hours ago. So 8, 7, it's about 6 a.m. We started at 2, that's 6 a.m. in LA. Tomorrow, it'll be about the same time for John. 6 a.m.-ish in the morning. 6 to 8:30 in the morning, right. So stay tuned tomorrow, and then there is a break between 4:30. Oh, it's like an hour and a half after John shares. He goes, after he does the workshop, Love is in the Air, he does the Q&A, okay? Half hour and a half later, or half hour later. So Julie Lurie will be manning the online station. Remember, email people, give us feedback, but only give us a solution. Don't be like ragging on people, because I'll come after you. I know where everyone's IP address is. So we are sending you the light. David Sand is the man. He's been out here taking photos. We got a lot of people. Brooke Danza's manning the camera. We try to keep it nice and thin. That's how I like my my crew to be nice and thin, to keep the production level way down, costs way down, so we can offer people instantaneous, somewhat crappy streaming quality. But that's what it's all about now in the world. YouTube is one of the best channels out in the world. Really, the worst quality you get, the better we get feedback. So last time at the Bovie, things were out of sync. People loved it. People love listening to people without it matching their lips. Now I think we're syncing, right? We're syncing. I think we're pretty good. Four is JR. All right, no, we're back. That was bad. That was evil. So JR right now is meditating. Paul signing books. We're at a great place called the Grand Connaught, which is in a really nice area where there had been Freemasons in the area. I think this is still a Freemason building. There's Zoe right there. Bye. Done a great job. And anyway, I had nothing else to say. Tune in. Julie Lurie will throw some songs and commercials or whatever in the air. We got good bandwidth. Can we say that? We got good bandwidth in London. I have nothing else to say except it's really great to be in London with JR. It's great to get him out. It's great the energy we're getting from you guys, because you guys care enough to watch us online, and it's a nice Huh? Whoa! I think we got somebody. I think we got Delisle. We got Delisle. Heidi turned 75, and Timothea student. Hey. Delisle, come over here. You girls on the other side. On the other side. Right over here. Hey, so Heidi, you have anything to say about being in London?
I am so happy to be around John Roger. That's the most important thing. And we're having a great time. Who are we talking to?
And Heidi's one of the most richest people in the movement right now. We're shout out to Howard Lazar. We love him.
Hi, Timothea here. I have been smiling on this trip for the last 2 weeks. To be in the company, to be doing what we're doing, it's idyllic. It's just the best.
And you know, JR's brother, he's a little bit tough, but JR's brother, Dalal, do you have anything to say?
Not really.
How are you?
That's all I need to say.
How are you liking the food and the eating 4 times a day?
It's good. It's great. Yeah, they feed me good.
What's your favorite food? Steak and potatoes, right?
Potatoes and steaks.
He'll go all over the world, China, India, steak and potatoes.
No, whenever I could get it, yeah.
No, I like meatballs and spaghetti, JR's favorite food.
You like spaghetti,
yeah,
too.
That's true.
Yeah, I do. I like anything
Anybody
put
really
on my
care
plate.
what Heidi Banks' favorite food is? Let's take a vote.
Not really. Guys, send emails to Heidi at AOL if you like her food choices. But no, thank you guys very much. I will. Yeah, I will hand this off. I'm gonna hand this off to Dalal. He knows he's got one good story to tell.
No, I don't have a story, too.
They're waiting for you to hear. They're back in LA.
What story?
Any story.
I don't really know of any stories. I know JR.
A dancing story.
You're talking to a whole 20-some-odd people listening to you.
I don't know. I'm grateful for that.
Probably not met you.
Huh? Probably not.
Tell them a dancing story.
Well, when my brother was a young man, he was really quite a Casanova. That's really what it's all about. And he could dance so good that you could compare him to Fred Astaire and some other movie star. And he was just that good. He could pick the girls up and put them across his head and dance around with them and sit them on the floor without breaking them. So I thought that was
my idea of a good
that's
dance partner.
a good deal. He done a great job. He enjoyed it, and that's what he loved to do. And you know, the main thing is that in my heart, he was a guard at the prison, and he quit when I got hurt. He quit that job and went as an orderly in the hospital that I was in just to take care of me. Now, how many people really would do that and go out of their way and love their brother that much? I'm so grateful for him and his life. And he's done a lot of good. So those that enjoy his life, so do I. And that's a wonderful life that we've enjoyed. And most people know him real well. And it's been a wonderful, wonderful experience having him as a brother and seeing him do so well out in this life and working with people, getting people out of trouble. That was one of his goals to help people and get them in the right path to Heavenly Father.
All right.
And I think that's important.
Amen. Amen on that. Amen.
So we're signing off now.
All right.
Bye.
Love you. Bye.
Bye.
keep following those yellow lines. Lately I see yellow all the time. When it's night, the roads are black. I'll be driving my Cadillac, just following those yellow lines. 1 a.m., it's getting time to fly. No need to question, no need to wonder why. Just grab those keys and shut the door. No time for worry no more. Just go grab yourself some yellow line. And I keep following those yellow lines. Lately I see yellow all the time. When it's night, the roads are black. I'll be driving my Cadillac and just following those yellow lines. 3 a.m., it's starting to get good. I drank that cup of joe, I knew I would. I watch the lines as they go on. The city lights are all long gone. I move along those yellow lines. Yellow line, take me home. Yellow line, on the road. Yellow line, here we go. Yellow line, driving slow. 6 a.m., the sun it starts to rise. I haven't slept a week or closed my eyes, but I'm just fine, just watching lights, hearing songs of better times, and just following those yellow lines. And I keep following those yellow lines. Lately I see yellow all the time. When it's night, the roads are black. I'll be driving my Cadillac and just following those yellow lines. Just following those yellow lines.
Hey, Phil. Phil, I'll say goodbye. Hey, JR. You want to say goodbye to everybody online?
You say goodbye to everyone online. They're in the camera right there. Say what? Bye.
Okay, folks, I'm ready to give you all a great big so mad, so glad.
There it is. Words from JR. Goodbye. In the words of Mr. Rogers, it's a wonderful day in the neighborhood, a wonderful day in the neighborhood. Could you be mine? Would you be mine? You be the other sweater, It's a da-da-da. Give me the other sweater. Now it's time for me to leave. Da-da-da, won't you be mine? Could you be mine? Goodbye.